Station Houston, are you ready for the event?
The event.
CBS News, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Bill Harwood, CBS News. How do you hear me?
I hear you great, Bill. How do you hear me?
Loud and clear, Jack. Thank you very, very much for taking a few minutes to chat. I know you guys have been busy up there. I do enjoy your tweets. I saw some fun shots of you and Peggy decked out in all of your 4th of July regalia. Did you guys do anything special besides just the photo shoot?
No, unfortunately, we had to work. We had a few experiments that demanded a strict timeline, so we stuck with those. But we at least got to take a few minutes to do the photos and show everybody on the ground how much we love our country.
Well, I appreciate that. I really enjoyed the video you sent down too. That was pretty cool. But what your comment just leads right into my next question, which was, before Peggy was added to the crew, you were looking at a fairly long stretch this summer with just you on board to carry out U.S. research. So how much has it meant to have Peggy up there during this period to help out with the science, and how busy have you guys been with research?
Oh, we've definitely been busy. The SpaceX Dragon, SpaceX 11 came up with 6 tons of cargo and mostly science. So from the moment it docked on about the 4th or 5th of June until it undocked a week or so ago, it was a sprint. We were definitely doing a lot of science to get all of that body of work complete, and then get all those experiments and samples back to the ground for further study. So it's definitely been busy. And as far as having Peggy on board, I call her the space ninja because, she has more experience than any U.S. astronaut on orbit now. And she's just a ninja. She just floats all over the place, knocking out tasks, and it's great to have her up here. She's definitely worth more than having just one person. She's like having 4. So I kind of feel like we had 4 or 5 people working on science there for a month, and we were able to get it all done.
Well, I was going to ask you, as an old fighter jock like you, how is it having a researcher on board? Has she turned you into a scientist yet?
I don't know if you can, but she's definitely a scientist, but she's got a good dab of Chuck Norris in her too. So we get along great, and we both love working, and we love what we're doing up here. It really doesn't feel like work. Everything is fun. Whether it's working on the toilet or doing cutting edge research, we pretty much love it all, and we're just having a great time.
Well, let me back up just a little bit to your launch. I spoke to you before launch about your expectations when it comes to riding in the Soyuz, but how did expectation match up with reality? What were your impressions of riding that spacecraft to orbit?
Man, I thought it would be like taking off in the Raptor. It gives you a good kick in the pants, right? But it wasn't just a kick in the pants. It was like it lasted for 8 minutes. And just the power, it was like getting on a big old wild bull and riding it up to orbit. It was just amazing. And then as soon as we kicked off and our little weightlessness indicators started bouncing around, I looked out the window and just the view was amazing. It was this teeny little blue strip that was going around the Earth, and all the life that we know lives in that little teeny blue thin line. So that was an amazing perspective check almost immediately. There was a point at which right before we were docking that Fyodor had to go, Jack, and get me back in the game because I was staring out the window at this beautiful space station we were about to dock to. It was amazing, and it blew my expectations away.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. How about the spacewalks? You got to do 2 spacewalks, and again, I'll ask the same question. How did expectations match reality, especially given all the hours you spent in the swimming pool practicing for this thing, for these types of events? But reality must be different.
Oh yeah, I grew up on a construction site with a construction family, and so I just building and getting out and using my hands are what really drive me. And I love working at the MBL, the buoyancy laboratory you mentioned. It's a ton of fun, and going outside is a ton of fun. But wow, what a view! It's just to we look out the window all the time here, and it's an amazing view. But when you go outside and there's nothing but this little visor between you and the vacuum of space, you can look up and see more stars and galaxies and just unimaginable depths of the universe that you can't see anywhere else. And to look down and have just this panoramic view of the Earth with no window panes and nothing in the way, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Oh man, you make me want to go. Hey, you're about halfway through. Well, let me back up. You're talking about having that space helmet between you and the vacuum. Is there anything scary about it, or are you guys so trained that that's not even a factor?
Well, I mean, I guess you could get paralyzed by the fear. There's a lot of things up here that can kill you. But we have to trust in our systems and in the incredible team we have protecting us and keeping us safe every day. We're up here on the space station. There are so many systems that we cannot possibly control or monitor. And we have to depend on a worldwide team to keep us safe and keep this place running every day. So we have to trust in the team. We have to trust in our systems. And then we can focus on just doing our job. You really can't think about all the different ways you could die, or you'd just be paralyzed by the fear and never get anything done. And we got stuff to do up here.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So I just read Jeff Kluger's book about the Apollo 8 mission, and he recalled in there about Frank Borman and Jim Lovell's 14-day stay in a Gemini capsule. I mean, compared to those guys, you guys have it pretty good. But I'm wondering, what are the best things about living on the space station? What are the worst things? Kind of give me the two extremes of that spectrum.
Well, the worst is my wife's not here, so that's definitely the worst. That'd make it a whole heck of a lot better. As far as what's the best, I really like flying around. You mentioned I'm a fighter jock, and I love doing flips and spins and flying low and high and fast. It's just a whole lot of fun. But the best part about being on the station is that every day we're doing science, and you don't know which thing you're doing. It could be a completely innocuous task, but you discover something that can help humanity. This morning, Peggy is working on growing cancerous lung tissue cultures so that we can study those, and maybe we get somewhere with cancer. In the other room, about 20 feet from me, we're looking at a new capillary action CO2 scrubbing system with no moving parts. And so every day, you're just a part of this awesome team that is doing incredible science, and you feel like you're making a difference. And that is the best part about being here.
Well, I guess you and Peggy and Fyodor have the station to yourselves right now. I guess later this month, you got Sergei Ryazanskiy, Paulo Nespoli, and Randy Bresnik are coming up. Are you looking forward to getting some extra hands up there, and will you regret at all losing some of the space you got with just a three-member crew?
It's everything has its goods and bads. I think we got plenty of space to go around. And I am excited about having a full complement of people up here that can really utilize this amazing laboratory. This will be the first time where we have 4 USOS, so we'll have 3 Americans and an Italian, Paolo, working on the U.S. segment on science. 4 people, that's crazy talk. And I am super excited about how much science we're going to be able to get done with all 4 people. So overall, it's awesome. Cannot wait for them to get up here, and cannot wait for the discoveries that we make together.
Well, let me ask you one last question before I sign off. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and I know the Broncos aren't playing quite yet. So what do you guys do for entertainment up there?
Well, I just took a picture on Friday. I'll send it out on Friday. But we started on Friday nights watching movies. There's actually a projector, and we have this like makeshift screen that we put on the ceiling. And then Peggy made these like bungee lounge chairs. So we kind of sit in the bungee lounge chairs and look up and watch the movie. But most of the time we're taking pictures or looking out the window or calling family and friends. So we keep, busy on our free time as well.
Well, hey, listen, thanks so much for taking the time. Have a great rest of your increment. Look forward to seeing you back on Earth in early September, and have a great day.
Sounds great. Great talking to you, Bill.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the CBS News portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from WBZ Radio.
Items found in one of 2 bags he allegedly had with him.
Test 1, 2. You got me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you have me?
This is WBZ in Boston. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Excellent. So let's start by talking a little bit about this. You've been up there for just a relatively short period of time. What are your reactions so far?
Oh man, I just love it up here. It's so much fun, flying around every day and just experiencing the weightlessness and being part of all the experiments and exciting research that we have going on here. So I am a pig in slop, happy as can be.
How long did it take you, or have you really gotten used to being in a state of weightlessness?
I think I'm wired a little differently because, with the test pilot brain, I guess I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And it really didn't take very long for me. I just kind of got up here and my brain really liked it. Unfortunately, we can't always predict how people are going to adapt regardless of their background. And I just got lucky. So always better to be lucky than good. I haven't had any problems.
What is your daily life like on the International Space Station?
It's pretty busy. We get up around 6 a.m. Peggy gets up earlier than me. We have 2-ish hours of working out a day because we have to keep the bone mass and muscle mass at a high level. Impacts and strength training are important to that, so our treadmill and our resistive exercise. And then, man, we do science like it's our job, because it is our job. All day, we basically have a very choreographed schedule that coordinates all the facilities, support scientists, investigators, the resources on the station. Some need this power or this refrigerator or this microscope. We do stuff outside. So it is this just symphony of resources that are choreographed on the ground by mission controls in Houston, Moscow, Huntsville, Scuba, and Munich. And it's just a whole lot of fun that every day is different. You're working on different science or maintenance activities every day, and it just keeps you on your toes, and it's just a whole lot of fun.
All right, thank you, CBS News and WBZ Radio. Station, we're now resuming operational comm.